What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for NXT TakeOver New York review. This was one of the greatest shows I think I have ever seen. Match after match after match, they brought it. Walter versus Pete Dunne, the War Raiders versus Ricochet and Aleister Black, the Fatal Four for the women's title, which has has me scratching my head. Matt Riddle versus the Velveteen Dream for the North American Championship with one of the more creative endings of the show, and a 2 out of 3 falls finals for the NXT Championship. There must be a definitive winner, and what a match that was. I'm going to say this before we get into the review, that there was, it seemed like, some audio difficulties for Kayla Braxton, the ring announcer for the show's microphone, because the first two matches, I swear the first two matches, I did not hear Kayla Braxton announce either any of the participants or who the winners were for either one of those matches. I might have been missing something. Something might have been wrong with my network feed because I was watching on the network. But I did not hear her one time until the Walter and Pete Dunne match. And then when they did the women's match after that one, like, Kairi Sane was the first one out, and I didn't hear her name or coming to the ring first. You didn't hear it till Io Shirai was halfway down the ring, and it's like, next, Io Shirai. And I'm like, what the fuck? But that was just something that stuck out to me as, like, I didn't hear Aleister Black, Ricochet, War Raiders, Matt Riddle, or Velveteen Dream in their entrances, and I just thought it was a little weird. This show had, by far, I think, the best ending of the entire night. WrestleMania has a lot to try and live up to. People, even though we probably shouldn't try and compare the two shows, they are under the same company brand. They are all WWE. So people are going to compare this to WrestleMania. And quite honestly, WrestleMania is getting blown out of the water for the fourth straight year. 4 years. 15, 16, I'm sorry. Was it 15? It's 16. Was it 16, 17, 18, and 19? They didn't have one in 2015. I don't think so. No. So the fourth straight year. Every year, from Dallas to Orlando to New Orleans to New York, it's every single one. WrestleMania has been playing second fiddle to TakeOver. This entire show tonight showed you. Yes, it went 3 hours, but you know what? It's like 10:30 right now when I'm recording this, and I am not tired. I am not exhausted. I got to see 5 excellent matches, and this show was by far worth every single penny for the WWE Network. If you went to this show, I wish I could go to a TakeOver, moreover a WrestleMania. And if it's like when we had takeovers before Survivor Series, before SummerSlam, before WrestleMania, before the Royal Rumble, I would rather go to those shows over their main roster counterparts, because when you get there, you're going to see great matches, great storytelling, great in-ring work. Just, you're not going to have your intelligence insulted. You're not going to see, like at Fastlane, where Kofi Kingston got his ass kicked for no reason other than Vince McMahon just doing it for the hell of it. You're not going to see your intelligence insulted, as I said, because because Triple H knows what he's doing. At the end of the night, and it was, I think, one of the best things I think anyone could ever see, Tommaso Ciampa makes his presence known. At the end of the show, Gargano wins the NXT Championship, and Tommaso Ciampa solidifies himself as the biggest babyface in the company right now. Like, he's going to be a huge babyface coming back. After what we saw tonight, there is no way you can make this guy a heel whatsoever. But he hugs Johnny. Him, Candice, and Johnny all hug. He raises both of their hands, and the show went off the air. Definitely one of the best endings and perfect ending to the entire, and I guess it puts a somber bow on the Johnny Gargano Tommaso Ciampa storyline. Now, when we get to that match and everything afterwards, before we end this review, I will book a scenario if WWE wants, because I know fans are going to want to see Gargano versus Ciampa for the title like we were supposed to get tonight next year in Tampa. If Tommaso Ciampa is back by then, I could see a way WWE doing this without having to have Gargano be champion all year long. I'll get to that when we do, but that is not where we're at right now. First off, we had the War Raiders taking on Ricochet and Aleister Black for the NXT Tag Team Champions. Rowan Hansen had the Viking entrance again. I'm pretty sure the one who was wearing shorts, it felt like, was, or one of the War Raiders Viking companions was probably Sarah Logan, because she is married to, I believe, Hansen of the War Raiders. I don't remember which one she's married to. I think it's Hansen or Rowe. I can't remember. I think it's Rowe, actually. But she's married to one of the War Raiders, and she was in NXT TakeOver Phoenix in that Viking group that they had there. So it wouldn't surprise me if she was here again to be a part of this, because she's always there in her husband's journey and wants to be there as much as she can. So it would not surprise me if she was a part of that entrance, but that is here nor there. Like I said, I think there were some audio issues, because not once between this match and the next match did I hear Caleb Braxton utter, "This following contest is set for one fall, and it's for the title that they had, introducing this team, introducing that team, or introducing this person, introducing that person, or the winner of the match is this person." I didn't hear that until we got to Volta versus Pete Dunne, which was the third match of the night. This was a fun match. This was absolutely the best way to start off this show. I thought they might go off with Pete Dunne versus Volta first. So the simple fact is, it was the UK Championship, but this was definitely an absolute great match. Every single match on this show was a classic. And I think the Women's Championship match definitely is going to probably be looked down by a lot of people as probably one of the weaker one, because it was a fatal four-way. But I'll talk about that later and how good that match was. This match started off with Rowe and Aleister Black. They did take their time with each other. They did trade counters of chain wrestling. Rowe goes to mount on Black with a big right hand, but puts on the brakes to show respect. Fans pop for that. That was like one of the biggest pops of this match. Probably one of the biggest pops of the night, what him and Aleister Black did. Rowe gets the Aleister Black then gets the upper hand, and he looks to go and kick Rowe's head off, but he puts on the brakes, letting Rowe get back up as he was down on his knees. They fist bump, and they tag in their tag team partners. Definitely one of the coolest opening segments of a match I think I've ever seen. Rowe and Hansen Ricochet and Hansen tag in to pops. They go at it and trade holds. Ricochet gets the upper hand for a pop. Rowe and Black tag back in. Black tosses Rowe out of the ring and runs the ropes, but stops, taking a seat in the middle of the ring. Fans pop as Ricochet takes a seat right beside him. Fans chant for NXT as War Raiders stare their opponents down from the floor. They come in, and the two teams face off after another stalemate. They go at it now. Black and Ricochet get offense in and stand tall. Hansen ends up slamming Ricochet after dropping Black. Rowe tags in for a double team as he takes Hansen up and throws him straight into Ricochet, who is laying in the corner. Rowe keeps Black grounded by his arms now. Hansen tags back in and keeps working on arm and shoulder of Black. Ricochet comes back in and goes at it with Rowe, getting the upper hand. Ricochet with a big springboard lariat to a standing shooting star press for a 2 count. More back and forth. Black takes control of Rowe and grounds him for several minutes. Black unloads with a kick in the corner. Black levels Rowe and rolls him up for a 2 count. Rowe counters in a kick and delivers a big knee to the face. Hansen with a big backdrop to Ricochet as they come in. Hansen with more power moves. Hansen with running splashes to both opponents, over and over and over. Hansen keeps running with the corner splashes as fans pop. Hansen stands tall and plays to the crowd. Black gets thrown. Ricochet is in the corner now, in his corner, and Black gets thrown into the corner, thrown over the corner, and he ends up getting thrown over Ricochet, and he ends up falling to the outside and down, hitting his jaw. Ricochet with a big counter to Hansen. They go on the Black face front. They go on, and Black finally tags in, trading big shots with Rowe in the middle of the ring. Black with a big kick, Rowe with a big knee. Black jumps with a knee straight. Black nails a German suplex and holds it with a picture-perfect bridge, which is awesome, for a close 2 count. More wild back-and-forth action between the two teams. Hansen hits a huge handspring back elbow after Ricochet tries to do a handspring jump kick, a handspring back jump kick where he handsprings and then backs up and does a kick. Hansen rolled away from that. It's his own handspring, and Ricochet runs right into that. Fans go crazy with these two teams going at each other. Hanson goes to the turnbuckle, Ricochet cuts him off from behind, and the fans boo some. The champions double team Ricochet a couple times with some big power moves. Rowe covers for another 2 count. Hanson then Black gets in. Hanson knocks Black with a knee, but Black comes back and takes both his opponents out. Ricochet nails a huge corkscrew tiger drop from the ring to the floor. I'm like, holy shit, that is just a fucking amazing. Every time I see Ricochet do some of this shit, taking Rowe down for a huge pop. Hanson then climbs up for whatever reason. Thinks that, I don't even know. And then he does a senton from the top to the outside, taking all 3 superstars down as a holy shit chant starts up. The referee counts. Ricochet and Rowe get back in the count at 9. Not a big fan of that spot where you just have all 4 men down. The ref's starting to count. These guys, like Ricochet and Rowe, look like they're fucking dead. And then 9. Oh, we gotta pop up like everything's fine and jump to the ring. Let's see. Ricochet and Rowe then start trading some big strikes in the middle of the ring. Ricochet with a big super kick off of a counter. Black tags in now. Ricochet with a big knee to knocks Hanson off the apron on the floor. Rowe comes for the Black, but Black drops him with a black mass. And I'm like, oh shit, are we going to see new tag champs? There's no fucking way they're doing this. Ricochet goes up, and as soon as he went and did not hit the 630, he went for a shooting star press. I'm like, this match is not ending like this. It's because these guys have been tagging for about a month and a half now, and every time these guys win, it's a black mass into a 630. So why would you have them win a different way in this type of thing? I know it's just something for me to stupid to say, but it's what it's like. They're not going to win the match that way. No way. Turns out they didn't, as he hits the shooting star press. Hanson is starting to come in as Black is playing bodyguard. He grabs the neck area of Hanson, and Hanson lifts him up and slams him into Ricochet. And I think I've seen this spot at least every. I've seen this. I'm pretty sure we saw this in the tag team title match at TakeOver Brooklyn, not Brooklyn, but TakeOver UK, TakeOver in Blackpool, and at TakeOver Phoenix. I think it's starting to wear out a little bit. I am surprised we didn't see a Tyler Doom in this match, and I know why now, because they saved that for a later match. They get a 2 count. Hanson is back down on the floor. Ricochet climbs back up and top for a 630, but Ricochet lands hard as Hanson pulls Rowe out of the ring. Black goes up for a big moonsault, but Hanson moves and then levels him with a clothesline on the floor. The War Raiders take Black down, and then they double team Ricochet in the middle of the ring. Another big shot to Black. The champions hit a fallout on Ricochet. So both cover him for the pin to retain, as Black was trying to come back in to save the match, but it was too late. And the winners of the match, and still NXT Tag Team Champions, this one was a foregone conclusion, the War Raiders. Excellent match. Definitely a fun match to start it off. Best way to start this show. After the match, this was awesome. This was awesome. One of the many awesome moments of the night. Hanson and Rose stand tall as they raise the tag team titles in the ring as their music hits. We see some replays. Hanson and Rose help their opponents up from the mat, and the crowd cheer them as they start shaking hands. We get another show of respect as the War Raiders lay down the titles and bow to both Ricochet and Aleister Black. The War Raiders were brought up in Japan, I believe. They were brought up in the dojo, if I'm not mistaken. I saw them wrestle in What Culture Pro Wrestling, and the last time they wrestled there, which is now Defiant Wrestling, and they were going away, they would bow to the crowd and bow to their opponents. That's just what they do. It's out of respect. That's what the War Raiders do. They did that for Aleister Black and Ricochet, which was just an awesome thing to do. Crowd, they bow, they take their titles, they raise them up again, and they let these guys have the spotlight because Ricochet and Aleister Black are leaving NXT. This was their final match in NXT. If it is their final match, it was a great way for them to go out, putting the tag team champions over. Definitely gonna miss seeing these guys in NXT. Honestly, I think Ricochet still had a little bit more to go in NXT. Would have loved to see him get a proper NXT championship match if Adam Cole would win tonight, or if him and Johnny Gargano wanted to take on all comers. I think Ricochet would have been a great opponent for San Jose. That would have been great for San Jose to hold Adam Cole off until NXT TakeOver in Toronto. That would have been what I would have done, is had Ricochet stay around and challenge for the NXT Championship. Rematch of NXT TakeOver Phoenix in which this time, of course, again, Ricochet wouldn't have won, but he still would have had a championship opportunity. It would have been a great feud for Johnny Gargano, but he's going up, and Aleister Black is going up. We'll talk about later why these two are probably the only two going up, but we'll get to that later. We do see NXT UK Women's Champion Toni Storm with Piper Niven, so they were in the crowd. They like to show them off. Mario leads us to a video package, and we have the North American Champion Matt Riddle, Velveteen Dream versus Matt Riddle. Holy shit, this match. As I said, like all these matches on this show started off slow. There was no high-octane, fast-paced match at the beginning of each match. Each match started off it was a slow burn for each match, which I think was smart because you didn't want to have like high-paced octane matches one after another, and then you kill yourself for the rest of the thing. Everyone got a chance to like slow in and get into a match, and then it would pick up later on. So definitely a great way that they did each and every one of these matches. The ending of this match, I will say, the ending of this match was absolutely brilliant. This match was freaking brilliant, the way they ended this match. I loved the way they ended this match. This match ended, Velveteen Dream is still the NXT UK North American Champion, as he should be. But the way they ended this match and the way this match went was absolutely awesome. Velveteen Dream came out and he was the Statue of Liberty. He had a Statue of Liberty head, like a little head crown thing on. He had a fake torch in his hand. They did this whole special entrance thing for him. They looked like they drugged the King of the Ring, the old King of the Ring thing out that people carry, like 4 people carry, and they bring you to the ring. I don't know what they actually call that thing. It was the King of the Ring seat, I guess. That like Mabel or Macho King would have used back in the day. Like they must have went to the WWE warehouse and like let's refurbish this thing and bring it out here. So that was just like Velveteen Dream never disappoints in his entrances ever. It's like every time we come to the takeover, it's like what is Velveteen Dream going to be doing this time? And he did not disappoint. Matt Riddle came out in pinstripes. Yes, Matt Riddle came out in pinstripes, so you want to go with that, there you go. Let's see here. They taunt each other in the middle of the ring as fans are dueling chants. The crowd was hot for both of these guys. Dream stalls some more. Riddle gets his hands on Dream and slams him to the mat. Riddle looks for the Kimura lock early on but can't get it. They lock up again in the middle of the ring. Riddle gets a pop as he takes Dream down and goes for an armbar. Dream struggles and resists, retreating to the corner. Dream takes advantage of Riddle fighting barefoot and stomps on his foot. Dream keeps control for most offense. Riddle comes back with a gut-wrench slam for a pop. Riddle blocks a third drop kick and drop kicks him. Dream comes back and hits an axe handle. Riddle is on the floor now. Dream comes off the top rope, but Riddle catches him and on the way down, and Riddle goes right into the German suplex, dropping Dream hard on the floor. This was definitely a big test for Velveteen Dream, and the result of this match was actually, I think, one of the best results, one of the best endings, I think, ever. And one of the things that started before we get any further, the biggest thing that Matt Riddle wanted from the beginning of this match was a fist bump from Velveteen Dream. Would Velveteen Dream give him the fist bump? That is a question at the end of the match. They come back in the ring, and Riddle chops away in the corner. More back and forth now. They trade more chops in the middle of the ring. Riddle with a jumping forearm in the corner. Riddle with more offense and a 2 count on the mat. Riddle struggles for the bro mission in the middle of the ring, but Dream hangs on and resists. Riddle knocks Dream back with a big kick. Dream gets up and nails a big German out of nowhere. Riddle fires back with a knee strike. Riddle puts Dream right back down for a close 2 count. Riddle with a senton on and some more offense. Riddle mounts Dream and pounds on him some more. Fans boo as Riddle shows frustration, but they could be booing the referee here. Dream ends up applying a sleeper. Riddle goes up and hits the triangle armbar, but can't get the win. Riddle blocks a powerbomb attempt. Riddle comes back and hits another German with a bridge for a 2 count. Riddle delivers kicks with Dream is on his knees now. Riddle talks some trash while Dream is still on his knees. Dream gets up, hulks up. Dream starts doing the Hulk. He's getting kicked. Just starts getting up. He's starting to Hulk up. He's channeling his inner Hulkamania. Points at Riddle like the WWE Hall of Famer would. Dream unloads some and drops him with a big boot, but does not go for the elbow because Matt Riddle does not stay down for long enough. Dream goes for a clothesline. Riddle over the top rope to the floor. Riddle with a big axe handle. Dream keeps control and hits a famous serve for a close 2 count on Riddle. This match just was all over the place, and these guys brought it. It was fucking amazing. Dream goes for the top rope, but Riddle rocks him on the way down with I believe a knee strike. Definitely fucking nasty. Matt Riddle has some nasty knee strikes, and you would not pay me enough to take a knee strike from Matt Riddle. I'm telling you that right now. Riddle gets him into an ankle lock. Riddle goes back up and has the ankle lock applied. Dream struggles and finally kicks Riddle back. More back and forth between the two. He did get the ankle lock on one ankle. Dream got out of that one, so he's like, screw this, I'm going to put you in the other ankle lock. But Dream did get out of that one. More back and forth between these two. Dream with a super kick in the Dream Valley and a huge DDT. Dream rolls out. He hit the Dream. They call it the Velveteen Dream or the Dream DDT. I can't remember what they actually called it, but it's like the Dream Valley DDT or something. Rolls up and hits the Dream on his shoulders, and Dream hits the Dream Valley Driver. Dream goes up top for the big elbow, but Riddle applies the Bro Mission on Dream on the way down. Dream fights it off and breaks the hold. Dream sends Riddle into the ropes to break it. Riddle ends up hitting a German suplex from the corner and a big corkscrew from the top, which I don't remember what Mauro Ranallo called it. He called it the Floating Bro, I think, which is just a really weird name. Dream still kicks out at 2. Fans cannot believe it. Neither can Matt Riddle. Dream comes back with an offensive now. Dream Riddle with a powerbomb and a knee to the face for another close 2 count. Riddle puts in the Bro Mission. He has his done. His match is over, you think. The mistake Matt Riddle makes is he takes the leg vice and he lets it go, allowing Dream to roll up Matt Riddle for the 1, 2, 3. Velveteen Dream beats Matt Riddle because of one mistake Matt Riddle made was when he had the Bro Mission on, he let his leg vice come apart so Dream can back out and get the 1, 2, 3. Awesome way to end this match. It makes Matt Riddle look strong. Just shows that he is still not. What do I say? He's not there yet as a veteran. It makes him so that one mistake can end your match. One mistake, and he made that mistake, and Velveteen Dream won it. So what a match between these two. After the match, Riddle's music, Dream's music hit as he clutches the title. Riddle expresses shock at the finish. Dream takes the title and poses with the corner as Riddle looks on. Dream comes back down and Riddle applauds him. And Riddle offers the fist bump. At the beginning of the match, he wanted a fist bump, but Dream was having none of it. Velveteen Dream turns away from him for a second, comes back and actually gives him the fist bump, and Matt Riddle applauds him, blows a kiss to the crowd, and leaves as the Velveteen Dream was able to have his own moment in the sun. What a match between these two. I gotta tell you right now, that was a great match. We were 2 matches into this, and I'm like, man, WrestleMania is not even going to come close. Here's the problem with 16 matches before we continue on. Here's the problem with 16 matches. There are 5 matches here tonight. And honestly, 5 matches here, you're going to remember a lot of the big things that happened here. You could have 16 fantastic matches on Sunday for WrestleMania. And you're going to forget half of what you saw because you're going to be watching this big event for 7.5 hours. After that first 2 hours, if you count the pre-show, because Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese are in that first hour, which is like that second hour probably, hopefully. By the time you get to that 3rd or 4th hour, you're not even going to remember what happened in the Cruiserweight Championship match. That's what's wrong with the 16-hour thing. Quality over quantity, and this shows you that quality over quantity is definitely the way to go. And while this is anybody who is a real fan This is WrestleMania. Not that shit that we're going to see tomorrow, Sunday night. I keep saying tomorrow because we're used to seeing NXT takeovers on that, like, the night before a big pay-per-view, and that's not happening this time. But Sunday night, I'm telling you, like, 10, like, at least 12 of those matches we're not even going to care about or remember by the end of it. Then we had this match. Which, before we got to this match, shows us a video, Morrow shows us a video of earlier today of Triple H and NXT's general manager William Regal. Great to see him around again. With Japanese superstar Kushida to the brand as they signed him, which was all for show because he's been signed for weeks. We also see Kushida sitting in the front row as he gets a pop. Big pop. Great to see Kushida there. Can't wait to see what he does in NXT. He's going to be 205 Live bound by the end of the year. I have a feeling. Kushida Kushida is going to be an interesting one. If you want to see some good matches from Kushida, if you don't want to sign up for New Japan World, go look for What Culture Pro Wrestling's World Cup from 2017, right before they renamed themselves Defiant. You have Kushida versus Will Ospreay, which was the finals. You have Kushida versus Zack Sabre Jr., which was a technical masterpiece. Go check out those two matches at least. Those two matches were fucking fantastic. If they still have them on their channel, which I hope they do. Those two matches were fucking fantastic. So if you want to see Kushida, if you don't want to go check out New Japan World, I'm sure you can find other stuff too. But the two matches I recommend for Kushida is Kushida versus Will Ospreay in that finals for the What Culture Pro Wrestling World Cup, and I think it was the semifinals or the quarterfinals. I think it was Kushida versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Kushida versus Joseph Connors. But out of the three matches right there, I'd say Kushida versus Zack Sabre Jr., Kushida versus Will Ospreay are two matches you should check out. Because, quite honestly, it's two different matches. He did face Kenny Williams too, I believe, in the first round, but two different matches, two different styles with Will Ospreay and Kushida and Zack Sabre Jr. Alright, moving on here. This match, in my opinion, went 5 minutes too long. I don't know what it is with the NXT UK brand, but it's like when we had a big fight match recently, it was like that with Joe Coffey versus Pete Dunne at NXT TakeOver Blackpool, UK TakeOver Blackpool, which they had a botch or two, which is that didn't help that match either. This match felt like it went 5 minutes too long. It was a great match. These guys beat the holy shit out of each other. Walter looked like it was his time, but this match felt like they could have shaved 5 minutes off this match, and it would have been still great. This one was definitely a barn burner. If you've ever wanted to see two hard-hitting guys beat the fuck out of each other and one not being named Minoru Suzuki, you need to see this match. This match was fucking fantastic as well. Like I said, 5 minutes too long, but I'm not going to say it was a bad match. Not at all. These guys put their bodies on the line and definitely delivered. Definitely, I would not say my favorite match of the night for sure, but it did not disappoint me at all. Other than, like I say, being 5 minutes too long. This one, let's see here. The bell rings and they lock up Walter. Walter take it to the ropes and they back off. Then takes Walter down and works on the legs. Walter gets right up and stares on down. Walter works Dunne over from behind, but Dunne tries to bend Walter's fingers back. He does, of course. That's joint manipulation. That's Pete Dunne's go-to, which I believe Nigel McGuinness later, or Marvinello later in the match, did note that that's probably going to hurt Pete Dunne in the end, and I believe it did because he was trying way too often to attack the fingers of Walter. Dunne avoids an early chop from Walter. They lock up again, and Walter overpowers Dunne. They lock up again, and Walter easily sends Dunne again to the outside. Walter with a big chop for a pop. Dude, I say this a lot, and I'm not joking. If you will offer me $1 million to take a chop from Walter, I would say nope, I'm good. I remember watching his debut on NXT UK because I went on my way to find it. And the guy he's probably about my size. because I'm not a really big, I like a big muscular man or anything. And he chopped this guy's chest, and I honestly felt like, oh shit, that had to hurt. And you could just see the reds, you could see Walter's handprint on this poor soul. He done could hold it a little bit more, but like he took a chop and like he falls down, and you could just see like, oh shit, that hurt coming from Pete Dunne's face. He's like, oh shit, what the hell just hit me? Volta ends up dropping down with another huge chop. They end up running the ropes, and Dunne nails a clothesline, but Volta eats it like it was nothing. They run the ropes again, and Volta hits a big boot to level Dunne. Volta manhandles Dunne in the corner some more, and they go to the floor, and Volta slams Dunne on the apron for a big pop. Yeah, that had to fucking hurt. It just like he landed so hard, he was like he was out of it for a moment. Volta brings it back to the ring and works on the arm, keeping Dunne grounded. Dunne tries to fight back on the mat, but Volta applies the crab. Dunne makes it to the bottom rope to break the hold. They tangle on the apron now. Volta knocks Dunne to the floor with a big kick to the head. Dunne looks to make a comeback with stiff shots. Now Volta gets sent to the floor, and he's dazed. Dunne with a big moonsault to the floor to keep Volta down. The referee counts. Volta takes Dunne to the top, but Dunne bends the fingers back again to turn around. Dunne slides down and hits a sit-out powerbomb to Volta for a close 2 count. And holy shit, the strength of Pete Dunne! I can't believe he got that off. Dunne recovers while Volta is down on the outside again. Dunne goes to the top and leaps out, nailing a big foot stomp from the top rope. More back and forth as they come back into the ring. Volta hits a springboard, a signature powerbomb, but Dunne kicks out. He hits the powerbomb, and for whatever reason, he goes to put his pressure on him, and his feet leave the ring, leave the mat. So he's just laying on top of Pete Dunne completely, and Dunne was able to take his body weight and shift it to where Volta would fall off of him. So I was like, that was really weird. They trade shots in the middle of the ring. Once again, more back and forth. Volta with a stomp to the chest. More big chops. Dunne tries to mount offense, but Volta shuts him down. Dunne goes for the fingers again. Dunne goes up and drops Volta with an enziguri in the middle of the ring. Fans chant for the UK as both superstars try to recover from the mat. Dunne gets up first and delivers more offense. Dunne goes up top, but Volta clutches him. Volta climbs up from behind, clubs away as Dunne resists. Volta launches Dunne to the mat with a super sleeper suplex for another 2 count. Dunne catches a strike and once again goes for the fingers. Dunne with like this section right here. If they would have cut this out, I think this match still would have been great. So we're going to cut it out here. Volta breaks a hold on the mat, gets back to his feet, more back and forth and big shots between the two. Dunne finally lands the bitter end, which did not look believable whatsoever. But Volta kicks out. No one can believe it. I believed it because I was like, "There's no fucking way you're hitting the bitter end on Volta believably, and him beating Volta with the bitter end. Just not happening." More dueling chance between the fans. They get up and meet in the middle of the ring, trading strikes. The strikes pick up as the referee tries to back Dunne off. Volta takes advantage and levels Dunne with a huge shot, and he goes up top, but Dunne jumps up and goes for the fingers again. Dunne climbs up to a triangle off the top rope, but Volta pounds on his chest while they're up top, and Volta counters and turns it into a big super power bomb. Volta climbs up, delivers a huge splash. Nobody's getting up from this. 1, 2, 3. We have a new UK champion, Volta. It was a good match, but like I said, about 5 minutes, a little bit too long. They did do it when Daniel Bryan turned heel. He was taking the arms of AJ Styles and holding him while he stomped on his head. They both did that at least 2 or 3 times. I think that was overkill. I think they could have did that at least once each. Just a little too much filler in this match towards the end. It was like good match, could have been an epic match, but it's like this one to me. If we had to rank the matches in order, Gargano Gargano Cole number 1, Velveteen Dream Matt Riddle number 2, Tag Team match number 3, Women's match number 4, and this one has to be number 5 for me just because it felt like it dragged a little bit. Not too much. Not a Monday Night Raw match that goes on for like 3 commercial breaks and it's like, God, end this fucking match. A Baron Corbin Rey Mysterio match or a Baron Corbin versus Kurt Angle match. Something like that. No. This was it just dragged just a little tiny bit. After the match, Walter takes the title and celebrates as his music hits, and we go to replays. Definitely interesting, and it was great to see them bring the UK Championship to the States for this. The UK Championship being on here. I agree to anybody who said this for this show was great because it got the notoriety for the UK, the UK division that a lot of people, a lot of guys and girls who watch the WWE Network probably don't see much of because it's the UK and it's on during the day here in the States. And a lot of people are at work or at school or college or whatever. So it's great to get this championship notoriety. We did see, of course, the NXT UK Women's Champion earlier in the night. We do see Hall of Famers Edge and Beth Phoenix. I do notice that Edge has regrown his hair out because the last time I remember seeing Edge on WWE television, he was short-haired. But that's nothing to the fact. The fourth and next to last match was the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Championship. A big speculation coming into this show was this was going to be a ladder match because on the graphic for NXT, if you go to NXT's Twitter page, you had the New York skyline, you had Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano, and then you had these four women, and below the women were ladders. I have a feeling they were going to go with a ladder match, but they decided against it for whatever reason. So we have these four women in a hell of a match. The winner of this match scratches my head because Shayna Baszler is still your NXT Women's Champion. The ending of the match was fucking fantastic up until the fact that Bianca Belair was the one to tap out to Shayna Baszler, but right before that, it looked like she was going to win. Made me wonder. Everyone's been calling for Shayna Baszler to come up since the Royal Rumble, at least. Probably even Survivor Series. Like, I don't know who's going to beat her. She beat Kairi Sane at Evolution. She retained against Kairi Sane at TakeOver War Games. She retained over Bianca Belair at the Royal Rumble, and then she at TakeOver Phoenix, and she retained tonight. I have no idea who's going to beat Shayna Baszler now. I know on this past Wednesday, Candice LeRae mentioned about getting her NXT Women's Championship opportunity in the coming days or coming future or something, but she's been sitting out doing almost nothing. So I know they have time between now and June, I think it's June. Yeah, June. Would not surprise me if Candice LeRae is the one to face Shayna Baszler. And honestly, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But this match was good. These four women brought it. There was no third or fourth wheel in this match. Everyone held their own. This was a damn good match. And like I said, this would be my fourth out of the five. Volta versus Pete Dunne was my fifth. I'm not saying any of these matches are bad. It's just the way things work out. It is so hard. I would love to see anybody go through the last every NXT takeover from NXT Arrival in 2014, right after the Elimination Chamber, all the way to this match, and tell me how many matches on those shows are bad, because none of them are really. I think there might be one or two, but nah. There hasn't been a terrible takeover. Trying to say there's a terrible takeover is really hard to do. We did have these four women come out, but no Marina Shafir, no Jessamine Duke. They had the challengers come out, and then they played Shayna Baszler's music, and we see the old Goldberg type entrance with her walking from the back, and she had Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir on her sides. They all wished her luck, and she went through the gorilla position with no one following her. So, by herself. This one is so hard to follow that I can't even really justify trying to even talk about it. This one will get down to the very end of it because this match is one of those ones that, like I say, fatal four ways. I would have to say that Bianca Belair showed that if they were going to change the title, this would have been her night to do it. Plain and simple. Belair brings Baszler back to the ring, but she can't put her away. Baszler's on her back. Belair turns this into a kiss of death, a KOD for another close pin attempt. Belair goes for a powerbomb to powerbomb Shirai, but Shirai turns it into the X Factor. Awesome, nice little transition. Shirai with a big moonsault. I did notice a lot of things tonight too, and it got kind of annoying. Is the fact that you had I obviously it felt like Vince McMahon was in the back because you had Marinello from every single fucking match mentioning something about, oh, like DX is going to be in the Hall of Fame, that's X-Pac or Billy Gunn, and it's like, why are we mentioning all the legends? I know it's WrestleMania weekend, but a little bit too much of that in my opinion. When Sarai hit the X Factor, he's like, "Oh, X Pac's going into the Hall of Fame tomorrow. That's D-Generation X," and it's like, we know that. Why do we have to mention that right now? Shane breaks up Sarai's pin just in time. Shane and Sarai go at it. Shane with an Alabama slam on the Sarai on top of Baszler. Sarai rolls to the outside. Shane goes up and hits the insane elbow to Baszler, but Sarai runs in and breaks up the pin. Sarai levels Shane with a big drop kick. Sarai unloads to some strikes to her best friend. Shane counters and plants Sarai with a DDT. Shane goes to the top, but Belair whips her with her hair on the shoulder. Definitely looked nasty, or sounded nasty. Belair ground Sarai, has her up in the torture rack looking for the KOD, but she goes over to the corner with Kairi Sane still is, picks her up and puts her in the torture rack too. So she has both Sky Pirates on her shoulder. Definitely awesome. Hits the KOD on both women, goes to pin Kairi Sane, but Baszler runs in with a kick to the face, puts her in the KO through the clutch. And unlike last time, fans are booing because fans are probably it makes her the best one of the best heel women of all time of the year. She's got her in there. Bella is fighting, but she eventually taps out, and fans are pissed. Fans are absolutely pissed. After the match, Baszler takes the title and Baszler asks for music hits. We go to replays. Baszler makes her exit as the other two superstars try to recover. Shafir and Duke come to the stage to celebrate with Baszler. I'm going to agree with anybody else who says this. There is absolutely no fucking reason for us to ever mention that she's coming to the main roster again. Every time we do, what happens? Every time we do, what happens? She wins. This is like the third or fourth NXT. Like, she lost the title at TakeOver Brooklyn last year to Kairi Sane. Everybody and their mother says she's coming up. Everybody and their mother said, that's it for Shayna Baszler. She's coming up. She has nothing left to do in NXT. Not only did she stay in NXT, but at Evolution, she won the title back. Everyone expected an NXT TakeOver War Games in a 2 out of 3 Falls match. She was going to lose to Kairi Sane, and she was going to come up. That did not happen. She retained the title. Most people expected her to lose to Shayna, I don't want to say most. I'm thinking it was 50-50. At least half the people thought that she was going to lose to Bianca Belair at Phoenix and come up in the Royal Rumble, and that was it. I even think I said something about that on my TakeOver Phoenix predictions. And she didn't do that. She retained. She wasn't in the Rumble either, which I was kind of shocked about that. I thought she'd at least be in the Rumble. But that's neither here nor there. Everybody and their mother thought, because this is a fatal 4-way, they have an out. She does not need to be pinned or submitted to lose the championship, and it looked like it was going to go that way. But she is still your NXT Women's Champion. What the fuck do we go from here? The only person that is even close to, I think, having name for them to go for, because if we're going to San Jose, and if the Boston Hub Connection is still your NXT or Women's Tag Team Champions going into June, there is no way that you're going to have Io Shirai and Kairi Sane wrestle anyone else but those two for the Women's Tag Team Championships at that takeover. So it made only sense that Bianca Belair was going to win this match, but it didn't happen. So the only other person I think that they could even do is that between now and the next takeover, Candice LeRae, who just watched her husband win the NXT Championship tonight, is going to be more motivated and more hungry to win the NXT Women's Championship. So even though it would be a takeover later than I thought, by the end of that takeover in San Jose, that Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano are both going to be NXT champions coming out of that one. I pitched, of course, months ago if it would have happened, but they didn't use Candice LeRae whatsoever. that the end of this takeover was going to see Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, which would have been a great story if Tommaso Ciampa didn't get injured. Well, he was in, like, Tommaso Ciampa has actually been injured with his neck for years, from what I've actually gotten from a performance center thing, which we'll talk about later. But I honestly thought that this was going to be it for Shayna Baszler, and she's not. And we'll see what happens coming out of this. She still has to get her comeuppance, I guess, because she has been wreaking havoc on all the women's division, and nobody's been able to defeat her. She did it on her own. And people wonder, why didn't they do the running spots here? Why didn't we see either one of the 4 horsewomen? Because we knew in the main event the Undisputed Era was going to get involved. That would just ruin the Undisputed Era coming out in a big show like this if you had the 4 horsewomen come out to help her. It just would have made no sense. Good match for the women. Definitely is going to outclass and outperform probably all three, or the two women's matches on WrestleMania. And yes, the women's triple threat match is definitely not going to do better than this match. Moving on here, we had the final match, the main event. Johnny Gargano, Adam Cole, for the vacant NXT Championship, 2 out of 3 falls. As we all know, coming into this, it was supposed to be Johnny Gargano toppling the evil, monstrous Tommaso Ciampa. Due to Vince McMahon's carelessness, and I'm going to put some blame on Tommaso Ciampa too, because if you go to WWE's Performance Center's YouTube page, they have a part 1 of 2 documenting Tommaso Ciampa from his neck injury to surgery and his road to where he's at. He mentions that he's probably had and he's been having these neck injuries for a long time. I was questioning, when did he break his neck? His injury is more of what happened to Edge back in 2002, or 2003, when Edge had to go get neck surgery. It wasn't from a single match. It wasn't from a single event. It was just injuries building up from wear and tear on your body. And some guys just have that problem, and he had that problem. He wanted to get the takeover. He wanted to get this done, and then he felt like, in his words, that he didn't think he would need to get his neck dealt with until his career was done. And he was hoping to at least get the takeover, and I blame Vince McMahon's carelessness and selfishness and inability to use superstars on his roster to make them worth watching, that he had to dip into the NXT cookie jar. Tommaso Ciampa in February and March was only supposed to wrestle 2 matches, and that was against whoever they faced in the first round and Ricochet and Aleister Black in the second round of the Dusty Classic. Have Johnny Gargano throw him into the Titantron LED board, kick him a couple times, and then that was it. And then he would be resting between now and TakeOver, and we would have had a match at TakeOver. But can you believe that this guy was injured for years, probably since before he even joined WWE? He had a bad neck. And that match at the Cruiserweight Classic between him and Johnny Gargano was an absolute classic. Their matches at TakeOver New Orleans, TakeOver Chicago 2, and TakeOver Brooklyn 4 were classics. And he was working with a broken neck. His match against the Velveteen Dream, his match against Aleister Black, which his match against Aleister Black, I think, exacerbated the problem more than anyone else thinks, because Aleister Black kicks fucking hard, and I think it didn't help at all. But just the wear and tear of Tommaso Ciampa's body, and a little bit of carelessness and greediness by Vince McMahon hurt this match from happening as it is. But this was your main event, and this was an absolute great one after the first fall. The first fall, to me, was actually the weakest of the 3 falls. The match went how I thought it should, outside of, I picked Adam Cole, of course, but we'll talk about it in a minute, because I mentioned it, I believe, on TakeOver, on the preview predictions, that I remember watching Johnny Gargano 14 years ago in Cleveland All Pro Wrestling. I didn't watch it live because I was not able to get there, but there's this thing called Fox Sports Ohio. It's the Fox Sports affiliate, affiliate of Fox Sports, and they carry Cleveland All Pro Wrestling. And I remember Jeremy Iron Johnny Gargano, and others too. Like they had so many other guys there. Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but those two I remember the most. And Johnny Gargano was just starting his career out. They said 15 years, so he's been wrestling for a little over a year when I started seeing. And dude could fucking wrestle. He was fucking awesome back then. And when him and Tommaso Ciampa was signed to NXT or brought in for the original Dusty Classic, I was like, oh shit, I haven't seen this guy in forever. And I remember him back in 2005, and he was fucking awesome. And the culmination of tonight's match, just from seeing somebody in 2015, which Johnny Gargano, the first time he was actually on WWE television was back when Drew McIntyre was doing his thing where he was facing champions of different countries. He came out as like he came out in lederhosen and he was waving his hand. He looked like a goofball and needed to get squashed by him. That was Johnny Gargano back then, and it was interesting. And see him now in this spotlight, it was fucking just like it. You can't get you if you're somebody who's known somebody you've seen since pretty much the beginning of their career achieve something as great as tonight. It just brings the emotions out of you, and it's a fucking awesome to see. I haven't met Johnny Gargano personally, but dude, tonight I was fucking proud to see this match happen the way it did, and it's just fucking amazing. Like I said, the first fall of this match just it felt off. It just felt like they were getting this to um they were just quick they were like this wasn't like none of these matches tonight had a slow pace to start out like you would see in WWE, as I mentioned, like, oh, they're going to be in rest holds for about 10, 15 minutes and then it's going to pick up. No. It was just, I hate 2 out of 3 fall matches because the first fall always goes the same way. The two guys brawl, two women brawl until about they get ready for the finish of the first fall. They keep rolling each other up over and over and over and over again, trading pinfalls, and it just gets kind of fucking annoying. Ugh. Cole keeps Gargano grounding. Cole rocks Gargano and covers for barely a 1 count. After wasting some time, more back and forth action as they trade strikes to the feet. Gargano with a big over the head belly to belly suplex for a pop. Gargano and Cole trades roll ups in the middle of the ring. Gargano ends up launching himself into a slingshot spear for another 2 count. Gargano with another big TDT for a 2 count. Cole goes up and drops Gargano with a backstabber in the corner for another pin attempt. They trade more pin attempts on the map but can't get the win. Cole and Gargano with some more back and forth in the middle of the ring, some more roll-ups. And Cole finally nails a sliding knee out of nowhere, which is the last shot for the final pin for the first pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole wins the first pinfall as he should have. If you want to tell the story of Johnny Gargano winning the NXT Championship as he did tonight, Adam Cole needed to win the first fall. If Johnny Gargano would have won the first fall, it wouldn't have been as good. And in the crowd, when you get to that final fall, would not have popped, I think, as much with him winning the first fall. It just wouldn't have worked. You got to make Gargano chase. He wants to win this championship. He needed to be down 1-0. Just how it had to be. Cole keeps control and sends Gargano into the corner. Cole with more offense in the last shot in the last shot for a close 2 count. Cole can't believe someone kicked out of the last shot. It wasn't actually a last shot. It was just an enziguri front. The last shot is an enziguri with an exposed knee to the back of somebody's head. That was not what this was. This was the shining was not to get enziguri. You know what I mean? Gargano nails a spear to knock Cole off the apron. More back and forth and another close 2 count by Cole in the middle of the ring. They end up in the cover on top. Gargano launches Cole from the top to the mat to a close from the top of the mat for a close 2 count. Gargano ends up hitting a big enziguri on the apron. Gargano hits a slingshot DDT from the apron and they land hard on the floor. The referee counts while the both men are down. It looks like they will be double counted out, but Gargano gets back into the ring and they're like, oh, he's gonna win it, and he gets back out. This actually seemed to shock Mauro Ranallo. Gets back out, rolls back out, pulls Cole finally back into the ring, gets him in the Gargano escape, and Cole, knowing that it would only be fall 1-1, he immediately taps out. Doesn't even give it a second thought. I'm gonna drop this fall. I still have the advantage. We have 1 fall still to go, so I'm gonna reserve myself. So I'm gonna tap out immediately. And that's what he did. 1-1, like that. What I like about this match is that we didn't have one of those bullshit falls where someone just gets a quick roll up so we can have one fall done. I fucking hate that about a 2 out of 3 falls match, because the first fall will usually be done like that. Bell rings, and then you have like some smalls, and then you have a roll up, and then you have another roll up, and then you're down to one fall. I fucking hate that, and I'm glad this is NXT, but it is WWE as well. We could have anything like that happen. Kelly confirms that this is the final fall, and the winner will be the new NXT champion. The fans chant NXT as Cole and Gargano get to defeat. By this time, I don't know what happened, but you just see a splotch of red blood all over the eye of Johnny Gargano, his right eye. He's just bleeding a little bit. It's not profusely. It's like he got busted, and later on you can see the blood was gone, but you can see where he got cut, and it healed up easily. He got cut above his right eyebrow, and it bled a little bit, but yeah, we got a little bit of color, so anybody wants to know where the color was in this show, we did get some. For you dumbasses out there who thinks I'm being racist or anything, color in wrestling terms means blood. Cole with the big kick. Gargano levels Cole. Cole blocks a kick and misses a big kick of his own. Cole counters a move and drops Gargano over the head for a 2 counts. This match went completely crazy after this. This match, Cole waits for Gargano to get up. Cole super kicks Gargano in the face and covers for a pin, but Gargano somehow kicks out. Fans do some dueling chants. Gargano with a super kick, but he takes a knee. Cole comes off in the corner, but Gargano gets the Gargano escape on applied, but out comes Roderick Strong. The Undisputed Era was going to get involved, and you knew right then and there that Johnny Gargano was winning the championship. As soon as the Undisputed Era came out, it was like, oh shit, there's no way that Johnny Gargano was going to lose this match this way. This match was way too huge to have the NXT Championship be won this way. I'm sorry, it was just not happening. Cole waits for Gargano to get up. Cole did that, didn't we? Yeah, Cole returns to the ring as the referee counts. Fans boo the cheap way to win. Gargano rushes back in the ring. This was earlier, but Gargano makes it back in a 9 count. As the Undisputed Era comes in, Gargano runs to knock Roderick Strong off the apron. Gargano tries to make Cole submit again, but Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly interfere as Strong distracts the referee. O'Reilly and Fish hit a double team after Gargano gets knocked into the referee, knocking him to the outside. They hit the Fallen Man, I believe is what it's called. Cole looks to get the pin, but Gargano kicks out once again, and the crowd goes completely wild because they know it's coming, that Gargano is winning this match. There's no way Cole's winning this this way. The Undisputed look on from ringside now, cheering Cole on. Cole charges, but Gargano backdrops him over the top onto the Undisputed Era. Gargano takes out all 3 of the other members of the Undisputed Era, even hitting a tornado DDT, a kickoff from the apron tornado DDT onto, I believe, Roderick Strong. Gargano comes back in, but Cole super kicks him. Cole nails a big running knee, but Gargano still finds a way to kick out as you can see that Adam Cole is sitting there is like, he's like pretty much just like, what the hell do I have to do to beat this guy? Seriously. Cole talks trash to Gargano's face. Cole then goes for the last shot again, but misses as Gargano applies to Gargano to escape. Cole goes for the bottom rope, but Gargano was able to roll around, get it back into the middle of the ring, and Cole finally taps out for the finish. And the winner and new NXT champion, Johnny Gargano. After the match, the crowd pops as Gargano takes the title and tries to get up off the mat. Gargano clutches the title as his music plays, and he stands tall as his wife, Candice, comes out and celebrates with Gargano. Gargano raises the title high in the air as we go to replays. Gargano sits on the barrier and celebrates with them as Candice brings him, says we got to go, and takes him over to his family because the biggest story out of this was last year in Philadelphia when Gargano was going for the NXT Championship against Andrade Cien Almas. His dad was not well enough to go to the show, so he missed that opportunity to see his son perform. It's that his dad, mom, and Candice LeRae's parents and family were there too this time, so they went over and celebrated with them. They go and head up the stage, and I'm like, oh, something's going to happen. Somebody's going to attack or something. Something happened, the perfect way to end this show, as Tommaso Ciampa. I wish I would have grabbed that screen capture, but I didn't. Tommaso Ciampa comes out from behind And him and Johnny Gargano embrace like the best friends they have always been. And the survey is happy as ever. The crowd is just happy as can be too. People have tears in their eyes. I guarantee it. I got emotional. You got emotional. And he raises both of their hands, and the show goes off the air with all three embracing and talking and everything else. Tommaso Ciampa's days as a dastardly heel are over. 110%. He comes back. He is going to be a babyface from the get-go. Does that mean he's going to be a babyface forever? No, but he's going to be a babyface from the get-go when he comes back. Now, we all got robbed because of many different factors, not just Vince McMahon. Tommaso Ciampa also has to be at fault too for the fact that this match did not happen. The guy's neck has been, I guess, bad for years. He was not going to want to take care of it till he was done wrestling. That is commendable, but that is also very stupid. Now, this was a damn good show. This was a damn good match. And where do we go from here? I don't know where we go with Shayna Baszler and the NXT Women's Championship. Matt Riddle is not done with I guarantee you Matt Riddle is not done with the North American Championship. The War Raiders are going to need new competition. Maybe the Forgotten Sons, maybe the Street Profits. We'll have to wait and see on that. Adam Cole is nowhere close to being done with the NXT Championship. It would not surprise me going into NXT TakeOver Toronto, Adam Cole wins the NXT Championship there. Holds it the remainder of the year. If Tommaso Ciampa is able to come back from this injury next year on the road to TakeOver Tampa, I have a feeling that Johnny Gargano will become the third two-time NXT champion. He's going to lose at Toronto to win it back at the Royal Rumble weekend at NXT TakeOver, wherever the hell they're going to be at for the Royal Rumble. I can't remember. I think it's Houston, actually. Are they going to the where the Astros plays? I can't remember. But they're going to be playing at NXT TakeOver next January at Royal Rumble weekend. Johnny Gargano will win the NXT Championship back and take it into NXT TakeOver Tampa to take on Tommaso Ciampa. And they can have not a hated match, but even though these guys are on the same page now, DIY, these two would put on a hell of a match. Go back and watch the Cruiserweight Classic match these two had. Those guys this was back when he had barely any of a beard, Tommaso Ciampa, but these guys beat the hell out of each other back then. I guarantee you when Tommaso Ciampa comes back with a better neck, which I don't know, when you have a neck injury, you have to change your wrestling style up a little bit, up some. I mean, Austin had his neck injury, he had to change his style up. I believe Edge had to do that too, even though Edge still went hard as hell until he had to retire in 2011. Going to be interesting to see, but if they want to get Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano at NXT TakeOver in Tampa next year, if it's possible, Gargano's going to hold the title till at least Toronto and probably lose it to Adam Cole. Cole will hold the title the remainder of the year, and then we'll go into NXT TakeOver next year in, I think it's Houston or wherever they're going next year for the Royal Rumble. He's going to win it, lose it there. Like I said, the Women's Championship, I can honestly see, I think Candice LeRae is going to win it. She might be the one next. I don't know. I don't really see. Bianca Belair is done. She is not getting another title opportunity as long as Shayna Baszler holds that championship. She has taken two. She has passed out and she has tapped out to the carry through the clutch. There is nothing left for her. Kairi Sane and Io Shirai are going to be busy at the next takeover, hopefully with the women's tag team titles. So the War Raiders, it could be Undisputed Era, it could be the Street Profits, the Forgotten Sons. We'll have to wait and see. This next episode, the next set of tapings, which will be taking this coming Wednesday or Thursday, are going to be very interesting to see where they go with the next takeover. This was a hell of a show. And again, WrestleMania, good luck. You're not painting this. People are going to be bored and just ready to go home halfway through your show. The crowd tonight, 15,000 packed the Barclays Center. There is no way whatsoever anybody is going to remember half of what you see on Sunday. I guarantee you everyone's going to remember everything they saw tonight. But that is your NXT TakeOver New York review. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. I will see you guys tomorrow for Unscripted. hit that and Sunday for WrestleMania. Until then, my name is The Franz, and I will see you guys later.